was magical last night, was it not?
Hell yeah.
As we crowned a new college football national champion. Congrats to the Michigan Wolverines.
Congrats, boo.
An absolutely dominating performance where the Washington Huskies could have made it a game, but instead the Michigan defense continued to smother. The Michigan offense continued to be explosive.
Right.
They go over 400 and some yards total, 350 plus on the ground.
Jeez.
The most dominant win, I think, from a physicality standpoint that we have seen in some time. Now, Georgia smacked TCU in the mouth 1 year ago in the championship, so it's hard not to just say that's the most dominating win. But if you look at how Michigan beat Washington last night, it was exactly how everybody kind of predicted. Will Michigan, who wants to ground and pound in old school football, be able to do what they've done all year against this Washington Huskies team who's tried and true? Well, Donovan Edwards got this thing started with a 41-yard touchdown, then a 46-yard touchdown on the ground. That's number 2 and number 3 whenever it comes to longest touchdown runs in CFP championship history. Derrick Henry has a 50-yarder. Donovan Edwards has a 46 and a 41-yarder. You just saw the motions and the shifts, and you see the miscommunication from Washington. Jerome Moore, who's the interim head coach for the last 3 weeks, as Jim Harbaugh was serving a suspension because of that rat bastard Connor Stallions being a rogue agent, was in his bag. I assume a lot of people are looking at him for head coaching opportunities, but will he be the head coach of this Michigan Wolverines team next year? I think Jim Harbaugh sat down with Reese Davis this morning, and we haven't seen the entire interview as Blake Corum continues to get loose. And once again, that's all on the ground. This is not 1995. This is 2024 for the 2023 National Championship, and they pounded the rock.
Yep.
It was fun to watch. Harbaugh loved that team. That team loved each other. They came back to accomplish exactly what they accomplished, and now the future is all anybody's going to talk about. We will have somebody from the college football world joining us in the next 10 to 15 minutes as Harbaugh got a Gatorade bath after eluding the first one on the sideline with some incredible quicks, because the comeback kid's got some agility, skill at this incredible old age. I think he also puts about a half a tin in his lip.
Oh, yeah.
Every single day of his life.
Yes.
So this dude's a dog, always has been. His dad obviously cut a promo on the stage as the microphone cut out. Who's got it better than us? Nobody! The Harbaughs are obviously living an incredible high, and now all anybody wants to know is if that guy, who has now accomplished a national championship and has been able to sit at the same table as his father, who won a natty, and his brother, who won a Super Bowl championship, does he want to maybe go check off the list of a Super Bowl championship that he was this close to winning whenever Beyonce put the lights out in New Orleans and the Baltimore Ravens get a massive win over the San Francisco 49ers? A lot of people are going to ask that. Reese Davis talked to Jim Harbaugh this morning. We haven't seen the entire conversation, but I do know the caption of it said that nobody knows what the future holds. That's kind of what Harbaugh's been saying this entire time. A lot of Michigan people are hoping he comes back, especially after experiencing what he experienced last night. You can't experience that in the NFL.
No.
They were singing in that locker room, hail to the They were doing that.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get that in the NFL.
No. Perfectly.
He actually told me in our Barbara Walters super journalism sit-down.
Yeah, sure.
He said, when I die and they throw dirt on top of me and wood.
Right.
Yep.
I think he saw himself laying in there as they were throwing the dirt on top of me. He said, well, there's wood there.
Well, inside.
So if they're not, I'm hoping they do put me in a casket. He said, if they eulogize me and just say he was a Michigan man, he was like, that's all right by me. That man loved that school.
Yep.
He goes back, accomplishes it all through a lot of adversity. Him and his brother obviously have a great moment. That team has a moment now that they'll meet and have reunions for forever. And there's, Tom Crean, former IU basketball coach.
Sure.
1 year going into the season, they were ranked 3. They ended up in the NIT. Some assholes in Indianapolis started a song and said he went from number 3 to the NIT. Now everybody's screaming, fire Tom Crean. That was not us.
That's a bar,
no.
But we did hear it, and he did get fired. He's in that family of coaching as well. Couldn't even fathom how motivating and inspiring Thanksgiving is over there. But congrats on Michigan Wolverines. It was an honor to watch you guys.
Incredible.
The Talks Table's here as they were on the sideline last night as well. I think wearing the same exact shirt. That's at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. No change of clothes for the con man.
No change of clothes. I did not plan on the FBO to here. Thought we were possibly stopping by the apartment. So sure, same shirt. Let's not stop there. Let's not stop there. Same socks. Same pants, same underwear. I smell like a hockey bag right now, but it's great to be here. Yesterday was incredible. Early on, too, I was thinking to myself, last year, TCU, this is happening right now. Michigan's getting blown out. If a team has purple colors, or excuse me, Washington's getting blown out.
It was hard last night. I was saying
Michigan
and Washington in my brain, very easy to.
Yeah, a lot of
mismatch.
Yeah, because Ing,
yeah.
In.
Right.
That was a tough one for me yesterday, especially with 10 hours on TV. It's going to carry into today for sure. But you're right. Purple in the national championship as of late, not a good color to be wearing.
Yeah, might have to cut them out. And if you do have purple colors, maybe start thinking, hey, maybe we change to magenta. Maybe we
or the all black.
All black. Go all black. That'd be cool with a little white and gold like Washington. But no, it was a fantastic game. Kind of felt bad for Penix as he's walking off. Nothing went right. We were talking about Texas watching that game last night's probably thinking.
How about Oregon?
Oregon watching that game. Like, you got to be kidding me. This guy couldn't miss anything all year, and now they're having all these non-Washington-esque plays. But Pac-12,
that's Michigan's defense.
They were flying around, and Pac-12. At least they went out as a national champion finalist. Maybe they hang the banner a la the Colts in the AFC Championship. But it was just domination by that Michigan.
Yeah,
defense.
D-line, offensive line, mindset, the whole thing. Ty, speaking of mindsets, and what Connor mentioned there early was we were supposed to fly back last night.
We sure were.
But because of the questionable weather in Houston, and they literally didn't know if it was going to be a tornado or calm, cool skies, they kind of grounded a lot of planes. Like there wasn't a lot of planes getting in and out of Houston last night. So we ended up staying the night, leaving this morning. It's another slap happy Tuesday.
For sure.
Another slap happy Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of sleep, which is good, Ty, because I don't know if you saw it last night. While the college football national championship was going on, and Jim Harbaugh was winning a national championship with the Michigan Wolverines.
Yep.
Jimmy Kimmel spent 7 minutes and 32 seconds talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he did. And who are we to think that, hey, maybe this Tuesday will come and we won't even mention any of this stuff. We'll
just be casual.
Exactly. We'll just
move on.
We'll talk about how incredible of a day we had in Houston yesterday. What an incredible season we had for college football.
How good the drinks were.
Exactly. How much fun we had last night. Right. Pizza Hut was there, which was, again, they do not miss.
They do not miss.
Why do you think this Michigan defense was just so damn great against Michael Penix and that Washington Huskies offense? Because if you look back to what they did to Alabama and Jalen Milroe, wow, Alabama's offense is playing horrendous. This is terrible. If Alabama's offense didn't play horrendous, this is a completely different game. Well, maybe Michigan's defense just caused them to play miserable. Maybe Michigan's defense was the reason why Michael Penix didn't play as great. Yeah. Why was this Michigan defense so good? And is it duplicable for this particular university to do it again?
For the same university, for sure. Jesse Mentor's, that defense has been phenomenal all year long, wire to wire. They just discipline, just like the offense. Sharon Moore, what he's done with that offense, but they make you go the long, hard way. I said it a bunch of times last night. They're not going to give up the big plays. Think about just off the top of your head how many times you saw missed open field tackles. So when you're playing a zone defense, rallying and tackling, stapling guys to the ground is a huge part of that. Will Johnson, the corner, I think he won a defensive MVP. I think Mike Sainristil could have did it as well. So you also have some phenomenal players. We know how deep their defensive front is. So talented players, great coaches. When it all comes together, they're a tough team to beat. And, they left absolutely no doubt last night in anyone's mind in college football that they were the champs. Closing out this, four-team college football playoff era, going into the next era now. So we'll see what Harbaugh does, because obviously he's a big part of that, being the head coach, even though he was away from the team for a few games. This year, you see how strong, his coaching staff is. So we'll see if he goes on to the NFL level because he did what he had to do at Michigan. Or, he was talking about spring practice, too. So he may be just already ready to flip that page.
I forget who told us this last night. Maybe it was Matt Barry or Reese Davis or Stanford Steve. I forget who it was last night.
McElroy?
I think it was Stanford Steve. McElroy.
Could have been.
Did he?
Pete Thamel?
Slim Pete.
Yeah, Pete Rabbit.
Yeah.
Slim Pete. Pete Rabbit was certainly in abundance last night. I guess it was Stanford Steve. Maybe he was talking to Scott Van Pelt after the game, and he said something about we normally start spring practice on Valentine's Day because we love football.
Of course.
Bingo.
But I'm thinking about pushing that back a month.
Yeah.
That was the comment that he made. And everybody was like, spring practice, pushing it back a month.
He's back.
Wait a minute now. I think the hiring of Don Yee, and I talked to a lot of college football people who are obviously very pumped for Jim Harbaugh to potentially stay in college football because the character that is Jim Harbaugh, and I'm only getting to know it here, I think, in the last few weeks. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Best.
Hilarious. One of one.
Right.
You know, there's an entire promo that his dad talked about whenever the people call him quirky, he's quirky. And his dad, instead of giving like a fun answer to whoever asked him this in the media, he said, is quirky getting all your players to buy in? Is quirky getting your players to not mess with any distractions? Is quirky like basically rattled off his son's resume and was like, if that's the case, call me quirky too. And then like walked off pretty much. It was almost like I'm sick of people calling my kid quirky. It's not, he's certainly one of one.
Yeah.
Different.
And I think quirky would be a good word to describe him. But I think we're all kind of missing the fact that Jim Harbaugh is a phenomenal football coach.
Great.
What that team went through this year,
Yes.
and he, in his press conference, wanted to make sure everybody was reminded and understood that, hey, we're innocent, by the way.
Yeah.
Here's Jim Harbaugh basically cutting off Blake Corum with a question about the asterisk of the season because of what took place with the Connor Stallion situation. And remember, Jim Harbaugh knows a lot more than us about what was investigated, what computers were taken, what cell phones were taken, what was looked through for this entire thing. And remember, the statement said that they believe Jim did not know any of this was happening. Here's Jim after the championship being asked basically about how people should view this title, especially with the word cheaters trending last night on X. Here's Jim Harbaugh sticking up for his team.
This was not a season where everything went the way you wanted it to. There was the off-the-field issues, which we all know about. Can you talk about the satisfaction having overcome those as well to get to this point? Does it make it even sweeter?
Right. Can I? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it couldn't have gone better. It went exactly how we wanted it to go. To win every game.
Ask his players. Can I?
The off the field issues, we're innocent, and we stood strong and tall because we knew we were innocent, and I just like to point that out. And these guys are innocent, and yeah, overcome that. It wasn't that hard because we knew we were innocent. So, yeah, that's
By the way,
really what I want to say. It went exactly how we wanted it to go. It went exactly how we wanted it to go.
I love that he is getting to enjoy this.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate the fact that he's like, they've done the investigation.
Yeah.
The NCAA is going to try to do their investigation. We knew in our team meeting room that no matter what was said outside, we're going to try to dominate the next day because it's the only thing that matters. And also, we didn't do shit.
Nothing.
I remember I asked Blake Corum, Blake, did you know they were running cover 2 whenever you were running for 5 touchdowns last year? And Blake said, no, I didn't know. They were like, me neither. Connor Stallions did.
Yeah.
This guy.
I asked Will Johnson, did you know they were running an out route when he jumped 1 pick? Did you know? And Will said, no. I was like,
Neither did I.
neither did we. Connor Stallions do. So I stood up there and I said, I had no idea that this guy was doing this. And we all kind of rallied around that, actually, that everybody is going to be attacking how great we are as a team because of something that took place in here by a psychopath. I think anybody that has a manifesto
500.
is normally,
Bit of a nut.
you know,
He came back to the internet last night, too.
especially titling, and he was at the Rose Bowl. I don't know if he was at the
Getting a ring.
I don't think so.
I don't.
I don't think he's getting a ring.
He's
I don't-
making his own. He's getting
Yeah.
a ring one way or
He's
the
going
other.
to Jostins and
Yeah, because Jess Sims actually broke down exactly what the ring looks like.
And he was
And he
in the
was
corner.
like, all right, I'm going to handle something, actually. I'm going to put Binox maybe
Yeah, right there.
right up here. But that's something that could rally the group, and they clearly did that. To keep all the distraction and noise out, 18 to 23-year-olds, incredible coaching job. Has to be talked about with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
He can coach the shit out of football, and getting to sit down with him, you feel like his energy. It's like, okay, this guy loves ball more than you do, more than I do. And also, this guy wants to connect. Like when he's talking to you, he's trying to make a connection. It's just like he oozes coaching. And I'm happy he spoke up for himself last night in the biggest moment.
You was kind of mentioned too. Great sit down with him and DeBoer as well. But it just speaks to the leadership on that team once again from the coaching staff. They're a veteran group too. A lot of guys that came back So once you kind of get that, hey, it's us against everybody. Remember when all the players put out the tweet, bet.
Oh, yeah.
Wish I would have listened to them. But, you know,
Should have bet.
it just speaks to that team, you know, how tight they were. And they went out there and played. Like he said, it went exactly how they wanted it to go. If you drew up the perfect game plan for them, everybody in here, we would all say, run for 300 yards and keep Michael Penix in the pocket, get after him, limit the run game. And Michael Penix, you know, he was a little off, but that was, I think, had a lot to do with that Michigan defense, obviously playing that zone, having him ready. He was never comfortable in the pocket.
Beat him up
he did miss some throws. I think Rome Odunze said he came on the one that he missed. He ran the wrong route. So, once again, Michigan did a great job.
Never happened all year.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Because the great job they do on defense, just like they do on offense with the formation shifting and motioning, on defense, they hold looks for, you know, right before the snap and then get to something. So your quarterback and your receivers have to be on the same page. So can't say enough about the job that Harbaugh has done.
Yeah, and like the other thing we've talked about a lot is the football gods. Like the football gods had multiple times throughout the season to just cut Michigan down at the knees. Like they started out without Harbaugh, they finished the regular season without Harbaugh. That is something the football gods, if they really did think, or excuse me, if they really did know that Harbaugh and the Michigan team were cheating, they would have cut him down. Corum would have fumbled on the goal line.
Some point.
Something would have happened, and the Corky thing people are talking about, I guess they're not the same, but like, do people say that about Pete Carroll? Because it feels like Pete Carroll is kind of the same jovial way, taking his shirt off with DK. Like you're talking about connecting with players. Pete Carroll is in that Bill Belichick 71 elder statesman in the NFL, but he's still throwing 7-on-7. He's still, you know, jovial as ever.
Pete Carroll, also one of the coaches that has won
Natty and Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think there's only a few that have been able to do that. You might have to be able to think differently if you're going to be connecting with 18-year-olds and 35-year-olds.
Bingo.
And Jim Harbaugh has been able to do that at a high level. And last night he gets a chance to, you know, celebrate a little bit for all his hard work.